Good morning, everyone. I'm David Paul. I'm the Managing Director of VectorVest in the UK. And this morning I want to talk about four relatively small cap companies for 2022. The last time I was at Core Finance, I spoke about three fairly large cap shares for 2022. So let's see and have a look at four smaller companies today. First of all, let's look at the VectorVest UK market timing chart. And unfortunately, the longer-term trend of the London market has turned down. Now, many of you have been looking at the FTSE 100 index, and it's had a great time. That's not representative of the overall market, folks, in that it's very oil heavy and commodities heavy, which have had a great time in the last couple of days. And I've spoken about some commodity shares on here on many, many occasions. As we go into the trading day, the longest term measure of the trend on VectorVest UK is down, and on VectorVest USA, it's down as well. So as you can see, the VectorVest composite of the UK sitting in a very tight range. It's currently at support within that range. And the American market looks exceptionally oversold. And I would expect to bounce soon. We have options close out on Friday. I don't think much is going to happen in advance of that. And invariably, if there's going to be even a short-term bottom, it'll be after that, after the dust has settled on the options expiry on Friday, maybe next Tuesday. So VectorVest does not recommend buying stocks at this time. But I have four stocks that I like the look of that have done well in this sell-off. The first one is Airtel. Now, Airtel is not a small company. They have got, they sell cellular services in French-speaking Africa. As you can see, the trend of the share price is good. The blue line before this, and the window below the share price is earnings per share, and that's rising strongly. It's up from 7 pence to 12 pence in the last year. The share is undervalued. However, on VectorVest, folks, the relative safety, which is the safety and predictability of the earnings stream, is only fair. So this would not be, in VectorVest terminology, a worry-free share. It's a share that needs to be managed. But the technical picture looks very good. As you can see, it's making series of rising bottoms. And over the last month or two, since November, it's charted and broken out of a small cup and handle pattern. And the probabilities to me of another 20 or 30% on the upside looks very good in this company. So do your own research here. It's in fact run by a family, a single family, so it's got the sort of cartel factor about it. They've widened the board recently by bringing in about half a dozen fairly well-known non-executive directors, and that's added a little bit of breadth to the board. For aggressive traders, this looks like a good opportunity for relatively fast rewards when the London market turns up and makes a bottom and starts to move up again. If the London market moves up, this should move up sharply with it. I really like Marlo. Now, Marlo is a recurring income business. It's a pretty much recession-proof business in that they're in the compliance business of fire and safety, and that doesn't go away. It's not cyclical with the normal economy. These are things that you have to have in place by law. They're growing by acquisition. As you can see, the earnings per share has moved up strongly. It's charting a series of rising bottoms. And over the last day or two, when the general market has been incredibly weak, this has done well. So that looks to me as if that's a long-term hold. Now, 65% of the script is owned by large institutional investors. So there's a great deal of institutional money in Marlo. So that's something for you to seriously look at. It would be a worry-free stock in the VectorVest terminology. This is a small company, folks. Again, it's in the compliance space, and it has got an awful lot of small businesses that operate in heat and insulation environment. It's growing earnings strongly. It's got a small market cap, only 150 million, so the spread can be wide. It's charted a very useful breakout after going down and running a great deal of stop losses, but it's broken out in solid volume, significantly undervalued, and I think that share can quite easily move up strongly when the general market turns. And even over the last few days, when the general market has been very weak, the share has moved up. So I would expect 20 or 30% increase in this company relatively quickly. Nevertheless, it is a small cap. It is only something that should be considered by those people that have got experience in managing risk and managing risk proactively. And the last one is Virtu. Now, Virtu has grown, as you can see, earnings per share moving up, significantly undervalued. As you can see, as the earnings, in fact, jumped up strongly, VectorVest revalued the share recently. It's making a series of rising bottoms. It's come off for a couple of days with the overall market and starting to find some support at a trend line. I think that's got an awful lot more legs in it. So those are 4 stocks that I think that you should consider if and when the general market, in fact, beats out a bottom and starts to move up again. Remember, at VectorVest, we want to try and find undervalued stocks that are growing their earnings strongly and safely, that are rising in price. And very importantly, we want to be strong in the market when the general market is rising, and we want to be very careful in the market when the general market is falling. And on both sides of the Atlantic this morning, ladies and gentlemen, the general market is falling. It's been trending down for quite a while now in the US, since the middle of November. We have interest rate rises, 3 or 4 of them to come. Small rises, I know, and we've still got to find out whether the market will, in fact, take those rises in their stride, or whether we're going to see a sell-off. So just be very careful until we get confirmation that the general market is going to move back up again. So I hope you found this useful. If you want a trial of VectorVest, then go to vectorvest.co.uk. Till the end of the month, we have a 99p special where you can kick the tires of VectorVest World for 99 pence. Thanks very much indeed.